Good day everyone, especially to you, Ma'am Quenny Abby. So this is our report and our topic is all about the 16th century, the Mannerism. But before that, let me introduce myself first. I am Izzy Villamor. So, Mannerism. The Renaissance was shaken by the socio-political circumstance. In 1527, Rome, which revolved Florence as center of art, was brought to ruin by the Spanish and German enemies of Emperor Charles V. Many. Aristocratic house fell from power, artists fell and disappeared to various parts of Europe. The social breakdown and violence were soon reflected in the arts. The decay of classicism in the visual arts took the form of Mannerism. It expressed the insecurity, anxieties, and escapist tendencies of aristocratic class Mannerism, although based on classicism was perversion of it. The Mannerist period is generally characterized by a sense of instability and ambiguity. So there are 6 forms of Mannerism. First is Mannerism and subject. Second, Mannerism of space. Third, Mannerism of value. Fourth, Mannerism of line. Fifth, Mannerism of gesture. And lastly, Mannerism of the fantastic and the bizarre. So, let's move in the Mannerism artists and artworks. First is El Greco. Who is El Greco? Dominikos Theotokopoulos, most widely known as El Greco or the Greek, was a Greek painter, sculptor, and architect of Spanish Renaissance. And one of his example paint is the Saint Martin and the Beggar. Saint Martin and the Beggar is a painting by a Greek Mannerist painter El Greco, painted in 1597 to 1599, that currently is in the collection of the National Gallery of Art, Washington, D.C. It depicts a legend in the life of Christian Saint Martin of Tours. The saint cut off half his cloak and gave it to a beggar. Next is Parmigianino. Who is Parmigianino? Girolamo Francesco Maria Mazzula in 11 January 1503 to 24 August 1540, also known as Francesco Mazzola, or more commonly known as Parmigianino, was an Italian Mannerist painter and printmaker active in Florence, Rome, Bologna, and his native city of Parma. His work is characterized by a refined sensuality and often elongation of forms and includes vision of Saint Jerome in 1527 and the iconic, if somewhat anomalous, Madonna with the long neck in 1534. And he remains the best-known artist of the first generation whose whole careers fall into the Mannerist period. And one of his example paint is the Madonna of the long neck. Madonna with the long neck is a typical of Parmigianino's later work, which was defined by unusual spital compositions and elongated figures. The painting is also known as Madonna and the Child with Angels and Saint Jerome, but earned the name Madonna with the long neck because of the curious length of Madonna's swan-like neck. This painting is one of Parmigianino's more controversial works and has been analyzed by many critics. It shows the Madonna seated on a high pedestal and clothed in beautiful robes, holding the baby Jesus on her lap. To the left of the pictures are 4 angels crowded around the Madonna, looking admiringly on a Christ.
Good morning, everyone. Number 3. Biccafumi painter the Nativity. Biccafumi was an Italian Renaissance Mannerist painter, active predominantly in the Siena. He is considered one of the last undisputed representative of the Sienese school of painting. He is perhaps best known for his frescoes on theme from ancient history in the town hall of Siena. The panels in the collection are also examples of interior decoration, probably from private well-kept homes. Number 4. Arcimboldo, painter allegory of winter. Arcimboldo presents two types of head made of multiple components. The elements and the season. The season were four: winter, summer, spring, and autumn. Arcimboldo form portraits of head of this season by combining the plants associated with growing up a specific season. Arcimboldo was an Italian painter best known for creating imaginative portraits head made entirely of objects such as fruits, vegetables, flowers, fish, and books. These works from distinct category from his other productions.
Good day everyone, this is Mariel Kaye. Number 5. Primaticcio or Francesco Primaticcio was an Italian Mannerist painter, architect, and sculptor. His famous contribution was the Gallery Francois at the Palace, which introduced the so-called Fontainebleau style of interior design. Fontainebleau style means a combination of painting, stucco, woodwork, metalwork, and sculpture. Number 6. Giulio Romano is the acquired name of Giulio Pipi, who was an Italian painter and architect. His most important is the Palazzo del Te, which he built and decorated from 1527 to 1534, breaking with the conventions of classical architecture in the same way that he had bent the rules of Italian Renaissance painting with his Mannerist canvases. This Roman painter and architect was one of the leading representatives of early Mannerism.
Number 7 is Vignola, architect and designer of Jesuit Church of the Second Jesu Rome. Giacomo da Vignola, born on October 1, 1507 in Vignola, Italy, documented classical laws of proportion that influenced designers and the builders throughout Europe. This Italian architect lived at the height of the Renaissance era. His masterpiece was the Church of Gesù. The Church of Gesù in Italian, Chiesa del Gesù, is the mother church of the Society of Jesus, a Catholic religious. Its facade is the first truly Baroque facade, introducing the Baroque style into architecture. The church served as a model of innumerable Jesuit churches all over the world. Its painting in the nave, crossing, and the side chapels became models for Jesuit churches throughout Italy and Europe. Vignola may be the best known for promoting classical designs, especially in the forms of columns, so he took the Latin works of the Roman architect Vitruvius and created a vernacular roadmap for design. Lastly is Andrea Palladio, architect of Rotonda, Italy. Andrea Palladio was an Italian Renaissance architect active in the Venetian Republic. Palladio, influenced by the Roman and the Greek architecture. Primarily, Vitruvius is widely considered to be one of the most influential individuals in the history of architecture. He designed churches and palaces. He was best known for country houses and villas. Villa Capra, or also known for La Rotonda, in 1567 would become one of the most recognizable buildings of the Renaissance. So, what makes La Rotonda extremely unique is that it is displays not one but four of them. Idiosyncratic choices do not always result in a groundbreaking creation. A building with the four facades could have easily ended up being bizarre, but Palladio was able to design a serene, a sophisticated construction by emphasizing balance, visual clarity, and uniformity. The design was completely asymmetrical. It presented a square plan with identical porticos projecting from each one of the facades at the center of the building. A dome emerged over a central circular hall. He was concerned with harmony and mathematical consonants and used the square and the circle as essential yet elegant forms. So that's all, and thank you.